Vi väntar.
Ja, okej. Du kan pausa.
That's perfect. Yes.
Oj.
Oh, we can start the recording.
Jag kan inte få... Hello. Malmö calling.
Perfect. Yes. I just was just sending an email to our guest speaker, letting them know about their time and just sharing the PowerPoint presentation. Just give me 1 minute, if that's okay.
Okay. I started recording, so but that doesn't matter. It will keep on running. Keep on running.
Oh, okay. All right, we can start now. Should I start to share?
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's go. All right, guys.
Thank you for a clear and well-structured.
Welcome to SCD-Seminar IV. May 27, 2026 Wednesday. Hosted by Smart City Developers, California, US. It's 8 a.m. in California and 5 p.m. in Sweden.
Before
Oh, sorry.
Before we begin with the presentation, we kindly request all participants attending in person to also log into the seminar Zoom link. This will allow you to actively engage with the session by sharing your appreciation through reaction icons such as clapping, celebration, and thumbs up. As this seminar is connected between two countries and there are attendees in person and also online watching the event, your reactions will help interact with everyone. If you have any questions for the presenters, please feel free to write them in the chat box, and they will be addressed after the presentation. Thank you for helping us create an interactive and engaging online seminar experience.
Before we begin the student presentations, we would like to inform everyone that each group will have 8 minutes to clearly and concisely present their research work. After 8 minutes, a signal will be given to begin wrapping up. Presenters will then have an additional 2 minutes for concluding remarks or to address questions from the audience. During the presentations, audience members are encouraged to write their questions in the Zoom chat box. We also highly appreciate everyone logging into the SCD-Seminar Zoom link to help create full interaction between attendees and presenters through reactions, audience engagement, and to express your appreciation for presenters of both sides. Thank you. Good morning to everyone in Pacific region, and good evening to our viewers and presenters from Sweden. God kväll till er alla från Sverige. Välkomna till det fjärde SCD-seminariet, och vi är hedrade över att ha studenter i transportmanagement från Malmö Universitet som idag presenterar sitt forskningsarbete.
We begin today's program with a special documentary presentation on TeWinkle Park, Costa Mesa, California, produced by Syed Zia Hussein and Smart City Developers team. Please welcome the SCD documentary presentation. TeWinkle Park, Costa Mesa, California. This short documentary explores urban green space, recreation, environmental design, and the importance of public parks in community development.
Thank you for a clear
Damn it.
In every growing city, there must be spaces designed not for buildings or roads, but for people. In Costa Mesa, California, TeWinkle Park stands as one of the city's most important examples of urban planning done with community in mind. More than a public park, it is a carefully designed balance of recreation, ecology, accessibility, and social connection. One of the park's most defining urban design elements is water. Artificial lakes and flowing streams were integrated into the landscape to create visual calm, reduce heat, and establish ecological habitats within a dense urban environment. These water features transform TeWinkle Park into an urban ecosystem, attracting wildlife and providing residents with a rare connection to nature inside the city. Urban planners designed the park to support multiple forms of recreation within one connected space.
My name is Mank, and I am a skateboarder and a skateboard instructor, and I've been teaching in Orange County for over 30 years, skateboarding for over 50 years, and I love teaching at the Costa Mesa Skate Park.
Athletic facilities encourage physical activity, while walking paths improve pedestrian movement and accessibility across the park. In modern urban planning, parks like TeWinkle reduce social isolation by creating shared public environments where residents from different backgrounds interact naturally.
One of TeWinkle Park's most important planning features is Angel's Playground, an inclusive play space designed for children of all physical abilities. Urban planners increasingly recognize accessibility as essential to public space design. Angel's Playground reflects a shift toward inclusive cities, places where public environments are built for everyone, not only the able-bodied. The playground became both a social and architectural statement about equality, dignity, and community participation.
In urban planning, green spaces serve environmental functions that often go unseen. Trees lower urban temperatures, improve air quality, reduce noise pollution, and absorb stormwater runoff. TeWinkle Park acts as an environmental buffer within Costa Mesa's urban landscape. It provides psychological relief from traffic, commercial density, and fast-paced city life. But parks also strengthen social infrastructure. Public spaces encourage interaction between generations, cultures, and communities. They become places where memories are formed and civic identity grows.
Today, TeWinkle Park faces the same pressures affecting urban parks across America: aging infrastructure, environmental maintenance costs, and increasing demand for public space. Yet its purpose remains unchanged. TeWinkle Park continues to demonstrate how thoughtful urban planning can improve daily life by combining ecology, recreation, accessibility, and human connection into one shared landscape. In the center of Costa Mesa, TeWinkle Park reminds us that cities are not only built with concrete and steel, but with spaces designed for people to breathe, gather, and belong.
Our first student presentation today is Scanification Mobility as a Service, Digitalization of Public Transport in Scania, presented by Lisa Bergdahl, Laura Mazurek, Julia Weinberg, Nora Olson, and Zoe Porthot. Please join me in welcoming the Group 1.
se hur det ser ut där uppe. Om ni går lite längre åt det hållet. Jag kan byta. So, welcome. I will start sharing the presentation, and please look into the camera.
Hello.
Hello, yeah. So, welcome. You may start.
First, we want to say welcome to the Smart City developers in California. We are happy to collaborating with you for today's seminar. Today, we will present our research on Skånetrafikens sustainability work. My name is Lisa, and this is Laura, Zoe, Nora, och Julia.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that was fast, but that was today's agenda. But I would like to start by saying, as urbanization increases and cities continue to grow, important questions arise about sustainable development and creating long-term opportunities for everyone. Public transport plays an important role in this progress. Public transport affects not only how we travel, but also people's ability to live equal lives. As sustainable choices become more important, organizations must adapt to meet these needs. This project analyzes an organization's sustainability efforts to better understand its vision for a socially sustainable future. The focus of this analysis is Skånetrafiken. Skånetrafiken provides sustainable travel options such as trains, buses, trams, and other special transport services. Public transport is essential for social inclusion, as it gives people access to work, education, and other daily needs. And the purpose of this project is to discuss, analyze, and map out Skånetrafiken's ongoing sustainability work. Although public transport is often highlighted as a key to sustainable development, the reality is that quality and accessibility are not always equally distributed. Therefore, our study investigates how Skånetrafiken operates itself as a significant social actor, and we aim to evaluate their role in promoting sustainable development with a specific focus on social sustainability within the organization.
In our project, we are based our analysis on the theory of social sustainability. Social sustainability is about meeting human needs and promoting developments such as health, education, employment, and safe environments. From a corporate perspective, it focuses on justice, equality, and the fair distribution of resources, as well as long-term collaboration. The social aspects includes any activity that impacts human well-being. A key part is stakeholder management. Organizations face growing demands from consumers, investors, and public. For a provider like Skånetrafiken, the end consumer is central, as our transport choices depends on price, convenience, and environmental impact. Therefore, the stakeholder analysis is important to understand these needs. Finally, there's a risk of greenwashing, where companies appear more sustainable than they are by highlighting positive environmental aspects while ignoring negative social impacts. In our project, we examined Skånetrafikens sustainability strategy, which focus on ecological, health, and social sustainability. Environmentally, they aim for climate neutrality through the vehicle's entire life cycle. A major initiative is to shift to electric buses to reduce emissions like noise, while also improving passenger health by removing hazardous chemicals from seat fabrics. Socially, Skånetrafiken works to make public transport accessible for everyone and reduce social isolation. There are initiatives like Skåneflex for rural areas, safety measures like cameras and flexible night stops, and partnerships with organizations such as City Missions to support vulnerable families with summer tickets. They also align their work with the UN global goals, focusing on reducing inequality and creative, inclusive societies with a target of 80% customer satisfaction by the year 2025.
Greenwashing occurs when an organization markets the positive effects of its sustainability work while minimizing or excluding the negative aspects. For Skånetrafiken, it is crucial to remain transparent and balanced in its communication to avoid misleading consumers and stakeholders about the true impact of its operations. Skånetrafiken heavily promotes electrification for creating quieter cities and providing health benefits through reduced noise and emissions. The transition to electric vehicles has a documented negative impact on human rights during the production of vehicle batteries. Focusing solely on local environmental benefits while excluding global supply chain issues creates a risk of greenwashing. The marketing concept public transport is for everyone aims to increase equality and reduce social segregation. Despite the goal of inclusion, only 47% of bus stops are currently accessibility adapted, even though the target is 90% by 2025. Skånetrafiken acknowledges that further efforts and stricter requirements are necessary to meet these inclusion targets and bridge the gap between vision and reality.
Skånetrafikens biggest strength is their focus on electric vehicles and renewable energy. This gives them a strong green profile, which makes more people want to travel with them. By being sustainable, they also become more attractive to stakeholders. Skånetrafiken has good coverage across Skåne, but there is a weakness in the countryside. There, the service is not as frequent, so many people are forced to take the car instead. To help with this, they started Skåneflex. This is a small bus that you can order when you need it instead of following a fixed timetable. This makes public transport more available to more people. Social sustainability is about meeting people's needs, like getting to work and school. However, there is a threat. If Skånetrafiken receives less money, they might have to cut routes in the countryside first. This would lead to social inequality because people in the countryside would lose their connection to the rest of the society. Skånetrafiken uses inclusive pricing. They offer discounts for students, youth, and seniors. This helps break down economic barriers and stop people from being excluded from jobs and education. They're also working to make 90% of their bus stops easy to use for everyone. There's still some threats though. For example, digital tickets can be hard to use for elderly people. Also, if you don't get a discount, the prices can be too high for some people. Looking forward, Skånetrafiken wants to work more with schools so that young people get used to taking the bus early in life. They're also trying new things, like giving away free summer tickets like they did in 2024, which help people reach healthcare and jobs while building trust in the company.
2 more minutes left.
Skånetrafiken has a strong social sustainability strategy that is a part of its daily operations. Through initiatives like Skåneflex and cheaper tickets, they support equality and help reduce social isolation. However, there's some risk, such as possible greenwashing in battery production and digital exclusion among older people. Despite this, they have a stable, innovative organization. We recommend a partnership, but also highlight the need of more transparency and better physical accessibility.
And lastly, our team recommends moving forward in partnership with Skånetrafiken. This is because the organization plays an important role in regional sustainability and contributes to both social development and reduced climate impact. Although some weaknesses were identified, Skånetrafiken shows a strong commitment to innovation and improving social sustainability. Initiatives as Skåneflex and flexible night stops demonstrate efforts to increase passenger safety and accessibility in rural areas. Their focus on broad transport coverage and cooperation with schools also strengthens their future position. This long-term approach makes them a stable and reliable partner for organizations aiming to support a more inclusive and sustainable transport system. Yes, that was all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had one question. We were not able to see you during the presentation, but now we can see you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So this is what
pretty.
they looks like, but during the
Thank you.
presentation, you see the presentation. But now you have the possibility
Gotcha.
to see them, and the idea is now that I'm going to hand over the certificates.
Awesome.
And I've dedicated many hours to print them out, and
Yes.
here they go. Laura Matsurek. Yes. Varsågod. Tack så mycket. Tackar. Tack. Lisa Bergdahl. Varsågod. Tack så mycket. Nora Olsson. Varsågod. Varsågod. Julia Weinberg. Varsågod. Och Zoe. Hout. Tack så hemskt mycket. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Tack. Yep.
All right.
So,
thank you for a clear and well-structured presentation. Your research demonstrates strong analytical depth and academic rigor. By Scantrafiken Mobility as a Service, Digitalization of Public Transport in Scania. Presented by Lisa Bergdahl, Laura Mazurek, Julia Weinberg, Nora Olsen, and Zoe Porthat.
Our next presentation is Sustainability Analysis of Scantrafiken, Public Transport in Scania. Presented by Jahanzeb Faisal, Saifa Bashark, Haidar Mustafa, Mohammed Mustafa, and Elias Winnert. Please welcome the presenters.
welcome up. And this is what they look like. And now I will share their presentation.
Perfect.
It comes here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's on the small screen. Yeah, I think so. That small screen was off at that time. I think so. It wouldn't be my fault.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, now you just see the small screen during the presentation, and then you will see them big again, great again, perhaps. So feel free to start.
Yes, please. You may start with the presentation.
So, hello everyone. Today we will present our sustainability analysis of Skånetrafiken and discuss whether our company should partner with them. We used SWOT analysis, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, to study their strengths and weaknesses in sustainability. One major ecological strength is that all traffic runs on renewable energy and as electricity and biofuel. Their CO2 emissions are decreasing even though more people travel with them. They're also certified with Bra Miljöval, which shows environmental responsibility.
So here we can see the social strengths of the company. Skåneflex offers flexible transport in countryside areas where public transport is limited. The company also improves digital accessibility for people with disabilities. And finally, they focus on human rights and fair working conditions in the production of batteries and e-buses. So, and here we can see the weaknesses. The company depends on political decisions for its budget and for future projects. It's also difficult to measure the long-term results of social projects. Another weakness is digital exclusion, since some elderly people or people without smartphones may struggle to use the digital services.
And here I'm presenting the opportunities using the pistol model. Politically, there is strong support for climate action, which can lead to more investments in sustainable transport solutions. Ecologically, the global of reaching net zero emissions by 2045 creates opportunities for greener innovations and environmentally friendly services. Socially, the growing urban populations means more travelers and greater need for social projects. Technologically, there is strong potential in mass or mobility as a service, where different transport services are combined into one app to make traveling easier and more convenient.
When it comes to the threats that Skånetrafiken is facing, one of them is the economical threat, which is that Skånetrafiken is very dependent on tax money and ticket income. And another threat is that buses and trains can be very crowded sometimes, noisy, and it's not uncommon that there are delays or even cancelled rides. And these things can lead to people choosing the car instead. And another threat is that the competition is growing from electric scooters, electric bikes, and some bike sharing apps. And there's also a risk for greenwashing. For instance, if it turns out that Skånetrafiken somehow is like misleading the people with their achievements for the climate, then they will hurt their reputation, and people will also mistrust them. So those are the threats that Skånetrafiken are facing.
Yes. To conclude, our analysis shows that Skånetrafiken is a strong example of sustainable public transport. They have reduced carbon emissions through electrification and renewable fuels, while also focusing on inclusion and accessibility. Although there are still some areas to improve, overall Skånetrafiken meets high standards in sustainability, and we would recommend a partnership with them. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I see some hands clapping there. Now it's time for presenting the awards, the certificates, and I'm happy to give the first certificate to Saif Abu Shark. Hey, thank you very much. Elias Winner. Thank you very much. Muhammad Mustafa. Thank you very much. And don't you think it's amazing that they are put in the right order as they're standing? We've rehearsed that for weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's amazing.
Now we'll see if we make it all the way.
Perfect.
Muhammad, Haidar, Haidar, Mustafa, and Muhammad Yazan Zaid Faisal. So, thank you very much for your presentation.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So now it's the next group. I don't know if you are going to give the, yeah, here it comes.
Our next presentation is Sustainability.
Thank you. Group 2. Sustainability Analysis of Skånetrafiken Public Transport in Scania. We appreciate the thoroughness of your work and the clarity with which you presented your findings. The presentation was presented by Jahanzeb Faisal, Saifa Bashark, Haidar Mustafa, Mohammed Mustafa, and Elias Winnert.
Presentation 3. At this time, we invite our next Group 3 to present. Green Cargo's Sustainability Initiatives, a study of sustainability efforts within a major freight railway company. Presented by Philip Lindskog, Alice Anderson, John Plar, and Mila Petrovich. Please welcome the group.
Thank you. This is the group, and this is what they look like. And now I'm going to share the Green Cargo presentation, which comes. Yeah, if you stand a little bit. Vill du?
Jättegärna.
Ja. Share.
Som byter vi av.
Är det den, va? Nej.
Yeah, perfect.
Där är
Där är
den.
den.
Yeah, exactly. The screen. Cool. Oh, it kind of disconnected. I get okay. Gotcha.
Now, do you see it?
Yeah, it's okay. Yes.
Do you see the presentation? A lot of train wagons there.
That's correct. I can see green cargo.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'll mute my.
So, welcome to our presentation about Green Cargo, the freight company. My name is Philip. We have Alice, Milan, and John as well. So, let's see. Today's agenda. First of all, a warm welcome to our fellow students of CSU attending on Teams today or on Zoom, and our local attendees here at Malmö University. Today's topic of this presentation will be a brief company presentation. We will also go through the research questions, theory, method, and purpose of this report and study. We will take a look at the annual and sustainability report, but also our conclusions on the SWOT and PESTEL analysis. Today's focus areas will also be on the environmental and social perspective. So, the company presentation. Green Cargo was founded in the year 2001, but before that they existed as a division within SJ between the years 1856 and 2001. Today they operate a national coverage from Trelleborg in the south to Kiruna in the north, and with some capacity onwards in Europe through strategic partnerships. And today they carry out 98% of their freight work using electric locomotives, and that's due to the national infrastructure in Sweden that's very electrified. Looking at the map of the coverage area, you can see between the arrows that they cover almost all of Sweden, except for the very northern part that's reserved for iron ore transportation.
So, the research questions we have chosen are as follows. How has Green Cargo adapted its operations to ensure sustainability from both a social and economic perspective? And by applying a PESTEL in combination with a SWOT analysis, what conclusions can be drawn? And in the theory, we have chosen a qualitative theory, and the method inductive approach. And the purpose of the project is to evaluate Green Cargo as a sustainable logistics partner, analyze strengths and weakness through a SWOT and PESTEL, and compare corporate sustainability communications with the broader sustainability challenges.
So, taking a look at the annual and sustainability report part 1, we have chosen to display the numbers in both Swedish kroner and US dollars. And the income statement, in short, we have revenues reported of 4.5 billion Swedish kronor and expenses of 4.6 billion Swedish kronor, leading us to a negative EBITDA of minus 53 million Swedish kronor. Looking at the debt to equity ratio in the company, we have a total debt of 2.6 billion Swedish kronor and equity of 350, just north of that, million Swedish. So that leaves us with a ratio of 7.5 times the debt to equity, and everything above 1 is normally classified as a high financial risk in this KPI.
Okay, so I'm going to discuss the sustainability part of the annual and sustainability report, mainly CSRD and something called double materiality assessment. CSRD stands for Corporate Social Responsibility Directive, and those are the European standards for sustainability-related reporting. The goal of CSRD is to facilitate transparent and accurate reporting. Double materiality assessment is a cornerstone of CSRD, and it is meant to help companies evaluate their social and environmental impact, also their sustainability-related risks and opportunities. Examples of this could be carbon emissions, pollution, waste generation, labor practices, human rights, and value chain. There are many different categories of DMA, and Green Cargo has decided to focus on the categories that are the most relevant to them. First off, we're starting off here with climate change. Some risks they identified are climate-related problems with infrastructure, production, and accessibility. And an example of this could be flooding that makes a rail track inaccessible or something like that. Green Cargo is a large consumer of electricity, so it's important for them to ensure that the electricity comes from a sustainable source. And even though they are a very environmentally friendly company, they still do produce some greenhouse gas emissions. They have identified opportunities, amongst others, that the EU climate goals they facilitate a shift from road to rail, which is beneficial for Green Cargo. And because of Green Cargo being fairly environmentally friendly, they can also help other companies reduce their emissions. Regarding resource usage, Green Cargo has identified a risk or that they are a large consumer of materials for repairs, and also when they buy new trains or train cars, they also need a lot of material to produce those. There's also a lot of waste generated when they repair. To mitigate these risks, they use predictive maintenance, so they can repair parts before they have to replace them all out. And they also prioritize repairing what they have now instead of buying new stuff. Regarding the workforce, they identified a few risks, amongst others, high staff turnover, which results in ineffective operations because of the prolonged training time, poor working conditions in some areas, and also a risk of injury in some departments. To mitigate these risks, they are reworking their policies for occupational safety and also reworking schedules. Regarding workers in the value chain, they identified one risk, and that was their own internal due diligence processes being lacking, which could result in them missing human rights violations in their value chain. To mitigate these risks, they have updated their purchasing policy. They have created a code of conduct for their suppliers, and they've also started with a supplier assessment questionnaire.
In our conclusion, we've applied a SWOT analysis onto a PESTEL model, and the SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, and the PESTEL means political, economical, sociocultural, technological, environmental, and legal. The political and economical strength and opportunities contains of governmental ownership with close to guaranteed financial support and the increasing investments from the EU. However, the weaknesses and threats connected to this is the possibility of governmental change, slow processing in the system, and recurring negative numbers. The sociocultural and technological brings up strengths and opportunities such as increasing demands, subventions, up-and-coming advancements through digitalization and AI. However, an aging workforce and risks of cyber attacks are challenges connected to these strengths. The final two legs of PESTEL, the environmental and legal, also brings up the strengths of increase in demand, especially as Green Cargo are already quite good at delivering electrified transports. However, the challenges being the remaining infrastructural needs and a complex process when applying for permits and etc.
So our recommendation is the overall Green Cargo possesses strong environmental advantage and stable position within the Swedish freight transportation, but long-term success will depend on its ability to modernize and its operation and improve financial performance. Thank you very much.
Wow, great work, guys. Awesome.
Boom. Now, lots of hands shaking again. And now you see them all. So if you just walk a bit to the center, I will present you with the certificates you've been longing for all this time. And we will see once again, this time They are not as neatly put together, so I have to walk around a bit. It's Philip Lindskog. Congrats. John Plower, Alice Anderson, and Milan Petrovic. Varsågod och tack så hemskt mycket allihopa för er fina presentation.
Awesome, great work.
Sia, our technical guy, he said that from your side you could actually choose to have the presentation square larger, if you would like that.
How would that be possible?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow it's possible to choose that, I think, in the upper right corner, view, something like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. Do you have the introduction for the next group?
Yes,
coming up?
please. Yes.
Another great presentation. Thank you for your insightful contribution. Your work adds meaningful value to the discussion. Green Cargo Sustainability Initiatives, a study of sustainability efforts within a major freight railway company. Presented by Philip Lindskog, Alice Anderson, John Plower, and Milan Petrovic.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we welcome our first guest speaker from City of Costa Mesa Active Transportation Coordinator, Mr. Brett Atencio Thomas. He has over 15 years of professional experience in traffic engineering, active transportation, transit planning, and urban design. He currently serves as the Active Transportation Coordinator for the City of Costa Mesa, where he has led several important initiatives focused on pedestrian planning, mobility improvements, and sustainable transportation. Today, he will be speaking on e-bike in Costa Mesa. Topics related to Costa Mesa development in active transportation. Please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Brett Atencio Thomas.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for having me, and happy to kind of talk briefly on this really important subject, especially here in California. You know, I've spent some time, of course, in Europe as well, and as mentioned, I've been in the bicycle industry for about 16 years. So I previously worked in San Francisco, up in the Bay Area of California, and for the city of Los Angeles at LA Metro. And now I work in a suburban city called City of Costa Mesa, which is about 45 minutes from Los Angeles. Here we've had a real proliferation recently of electric bicycle usage on scales that have maybe not been seen since the advent of the vehicle. So I'll get into that right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if that's cool, and then we can go from there. All right, great. So can everyone see my screen now?
Yes, we see it very well. Thank you.
Great. So as mentioned, I'm the active transportation coordinator at the City of Costa Mesa, about 45 minutes outside of Los Angeles. And, you know, our bicycle numbers here aren't like Europe, right? So as you guys know, the United States is dominated by the automobile, and has been since 1950s. Post World War II, the United States sort of took its the opportunity of World War II, which, the automobile industry was what has enabled the United States to have such a powerful military at that time, is they were able to take the automobile manufacturing that was going on in the United States post Henry Ford and transition that infrastructure development into military development, which enabled the United States to rapidly develop military hardware during World War II. After World War II, the President Eisenhower developed the 1956 Highways Act, and that 1950s Highways Act built rapidly expanded not only our automobile industry, but also expanded our highway system. So if at any point anyone wants to stop me, just raise a hand, or it looks like there's a classroom there. If you guys want to stop me, or if I'm speaking in English too fast or saying words that you might not understand, please let me know. So the interstate highway system was rapidly expanded, and that resulted in a country that has a mode share in the 90% range. So about 90% of trips in the United States are made by automobile. And this presents a really interesting phenomenon in the United States that has led to a rapid sort of proliferation of urban planners and transportation engineers that are interested in correcting that. So the first thing I always like to bring up, and I imagine a lot of people here that are watching this maybe have seen this graphic before. This is in Europe, and this was in the 1970s. I think somewhere maybe around where you guys are at. So maybe you guys are familiar with this graphic. But some students came together, I believe in Rotterdam, and they wanted to show the difference.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to point out my slides are not working. Where I'm like stuck on the first slide. I don't know.
You guys can see the second slide or no?
I just see the
with the
I see the first
cars.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see the second slide with the cars?
Yeah.
Cars, yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Then we're on time, aren't we?
Oh,
Okay, good.
okay.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you, Zia. So, again, so the students wanted to kind of make a point here with this slide, right? And it sounds like maybe some people have or have not seen this, but the idea was, hey, look, we want to show what a roadway looks like with 70 people in cars. So on the left-hand side, you'll see what 70 cars look like on a roadway. On the second slide, you'll see what 70 people look like on a bus, how much space that takes up. And on the right-hand side, you'll see what 70 people on bicycles take up. So very, very clearly, the roadway space for 70 cars is pretty much at capacity. The space is completely filled, and there's really no more room for anything else. With an automobile bus, or excuse me, with a bus, it's pretty much just a bus, right? So there's 70 people on that bus, and it doesn't take up very much space. The same thing with the bicycles. Now, in the United States, this was really a popular diagram in the urban planning and transportation engineering world that made people wake up and say, hey, look, roadway space with 70 cars is not as functional as roadway space with 70 bicycles or 70 people on a bus. It just doesn't function as well because it's at capacity. But lo and behold, our automobile industry in the United States is a very strong industry. And they started to push the idea of rideshare, things like Uber we have in the United States, and I know you guys have in Europe as well. We have other similar brands to Uber called Lyft and other things like that. In some parts of Asia now they have Didi, and in Mexico they have Didi. But these are all rideshare companies. So the automobile industry introduced several different ideas. They introduced rideshare. They introduced electric cars. And most recently, with things like Waymo, they've introduced autonomous vehicles. So you've ended up in a space where the automobile industry says, no, don't worry. You don't need to transition to bicycle in the United States. You don't need to transition to bus or rail. Cars are fine. We can do rideshare. We can do Carpooling. We can do on demand, use Uber or have a taxi on demand service. We can also do electric cars, so the environment's okay. We can also do autonomous cars, so the person's not driving the vehicle. But the point remains the same. The space in the urban environment for 70 vehicles still is at capacity. So the diagram from previously shown from Europe that shows the 70 cars is still the same when you are in a rideshare vehicle or when you are in an electric car or when you are in an autonomous car. There is no difference in the typology of vehicle. The roadway space is still at capacity. There is no more space available. And this brings to a really interesting piece, roadway capacity and throughput. So what we do know is that our roads are finite. They're a finite and precious resource. Our street space can be better used. So on the left, you see a roadway that's at capacity with vehicles. And it doesn't matter if those vehicles are electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, shared vehicles, taxis. It doesn't matter. That roadway is at capacity and it's not being maximized. On the right, you see a diagram of a roadway that has people walking, on bicycle, in transit, in various forms of bus sizes, and of course still in vehicles. That space has more opportunity. And back to our original slide, the bus in the middle or the bikes on the right can fit a lot more than 70 people on that roadway. So it increases your throughput on the roadway. So this brings us to active transportation, which is what I specialize in. And active transportation, as you all know, is defined in the United States as walking, biking, rolling, and also transit. Anything basically outside of an automobile. Now, previously in the United States, this was called alternative transportation. People in my industry fought back against that, right? Because they didn't want this to be called alternative transportation because the idea of this form of transportation being considered alternative presented the idea that the automobile was the prime, was the way that things should be, and anything outside of an automobile would be alternative to the automobile. So we sort of rebranded that in the United States as active transportation, which I'm not really sure is the best word either, because saying that transportation is active is a little bit silly, right? Because number one, when I drive, I'm still using my hands, right? So I'm still being active in a sense. But also, you can't drive your vehicle into your house, park it in your bedroom, go upstairs in it, and sleep in it. You have to at some point leave your vehicle and walk to your destination. So even if your vehicle is parked in your driveway or you're parked in front of your work, you're still at some point going to walk and be active. But the point being is that walking, bicycling, rolling, those are all forms of different transportation. And what we really want to focus on is getting people outside of the personal automobile. So what is the potential of active transportation in the United States? The National Household Travel Survey, which is put together by the United States government, shows that about 28% of trips in the United States are 1 mile or less. So basically roughly on the range of about 1.8 kilometers or less, all trips in, or 28% of trips in the United States are 1.8 kilometers or less. About 50% of trips in the United States are less than 60 kilometers. So as we know, a trip that's 1 mile or less is about a 20-minute walk, meaning that 28% of trips in the United States are less than a 20-minute walk. And that 50% of trips in the United States are about 3 miles or less, which equates to about a 20-minute bicycle ride on a conventional bicycle. So as you can tell, the National Household Travel Survey in the United States shows that there's a lot of opportunity to transition away from having 90% of our trips completed by automobile and maybe encourage a substantially large amount of those trips to be completed by walking or bicycling. And this has been the focus of engineers and transportation planners in the United States for quite some time. How do we transition folks out of the automobile and encourage them to walk or bicycle to their destination, which is clearly highly feasible? If 50% of trips in the United States are bikeable within 20 minutes, why is it that in the United States, 90% of trips are still made by car, by personal automobile? So this is sort of the conundrum that the United States is in. Now, pardon me, as part of my career, I've traveled a lot. I worked for quite some, I went to UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, and when I was there, we worked in Tokyo for a bit with Shinkansen, with the high-speed rail system there. I also spent quite a bit of time in Amsterdam and in other places in Europe. And I've seen other societies that aren't automobile-based. And the one key difference is generally the infrastructure. Not necessarily the population density, but the actual infrastructure itself. If the infrastructure allows for walking, people will generally walk. If the infrastructure allows for bicycling, people will generally bicycle. Unfortunately, in the United States, most of the infrastructure has been built to focus on almost always only allowing trips by driving, which has resulted in a mode share of 90% of trips made by automobile. Now, this presents a really interesting conundrum. A large proportion of the United States now lives in urban environments. In fact, the vast majority of Americans, of United States residents, live in cities. They don't live in farmland, and they don't really live in what would traditionally be called a suburb anymore. Many of our urban environments have expanded, and probably some of the students at Malmö University are probably studying suburbanization. But that model existed in the 70s and 80s. And what has developed are edge cities. And edge cities mean that there's job centers, nodes, centers of economic activity that are now in places that would traditionally be called suburban. So behind me is a map of Costa Mesa. And I don't know if you all can see that very well, but as you can tell, it's pretty much fully built out. It's quite an urban environment. We have about 10,000 residents per square mile, which equates to about 20,000 residents per a square kilometer. So this would be generally considered an urban space. Yet, our infrastructure is almost solely built for the automobile. However, there is presented a large opportunity. That opportunity lies in this map as a perfect example. Now, many of you aren't familiar with our urban environment here, so I'll walk through it briefly. Can you all see my mouse, the little hand on the computer?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, you guys can see this, Professor? Great.
Yeah.
So this is one of our major freeways or highways, or I'm not sure the word that's used where you guys are at. I know in Germany they use the word Autobahn. But this is one of our major freeways here in Southern California. To the north is Los Angeles. To the south is San Diego. This is a secondary freeway. This is also a secondary freeway or highway, Autobahn, that we have here in this area. Here's my city, the city of Costa Mesa. Now, here in the blue is a major commercial center. This area has pretty much all of the commercial needs that you could ever want or desire. For example, if you wanted to get your vacuum repaired, you could get your vacuum repaired there. If you wanted to go to a record store and buy some new records, you could do that there. If you wanted to buy some clothing, you could do that there. If you wanted to go out to eat and get Japanese food, you could do that. If you wanted to get Hungarian food, you could do that. If you wanted to get Mexican food, of course, in California, you could do that. Actually, you could even go get some European style things there. I don't quite know if there's anything that's Swedish there, but there's definitely some German restaurants that are in that neighborhood. There's basically any service that you could ever need. But because of the built environment in California, because of these highways, these large freeways that rip through our urban environments, which you can actually see here on this map as well, Californians have become accustomed to driving to their destinations. Most Californians drive north to go to Los Angeles for work, or some even south to go to San Diego for work. But what's happened in the modern era is these commercial centers, these nodes of commercial activity have popped up. Now, usually when I give this presentation, I'm giving it to people in Southern California who are very familiar with Costa Mesa. It's a major center of the region. For you all that aren't familiar with Costa Mesa, I'll let you know these little commercial centers, which again is about, this is 1 mile here at the bottom, again about 1.8 kilometers. So this commercial area is about, give or take, about 4 kilometers long. And these little commercial nodes exist all over Southern California, all over our region. Yet people are still driving. So what we've been focusing on as urban planners and transportation engineers in Southern California is finding ways to get people out of the automobile. Now, this red line here shows what we call walk-shed. So everything within this red area is within a 20-minute walk of this blue major retail corridor, this major commercial area, where again, you could get almost anything you want. I'm sure if I wanted to go get basically anything, if someone said, hey, you know, I need a new work boots, well, you can get that here. But people are driving to it. However, this red line shows everything, all of these residential streets, all of this residential area, shown on the map behind me as well, that is within walking distance, within 20 minutes of this commercial area. Now, within the green line is everything that's within a 20-minute bike ride, a 3-mile buffer to this area. So again, everything in this red is 20 minutes walking distance to this, and everything within this green area is 20 minutes biking to this. Now, within this green area, there's about 400,000 residents that live within that area. So this is a pretty substantial population. And that means that we could move about, remember again, 50% of trips in the United States are within 3 miles. 28% of trips in the United States are within 1 mile. That means we should be focusing our potential to create 50% of trips by biking and 28% of trips by walking. And here, this is a perfect example of the possibility of that. Everyone that needs a pair of new work boots, everyone that wants to go get a new record, everyone that wants to go get Ethiopian food, everyone that wants to go to church, everyone that needs to do anything that is available within this major retail corridor, this major commercial district that lives within this green area can get here by bicycling. Everyone that lives within this red area can get here by walking within 20 minutes. The problem is the infrastructure doesn't exist. So we've been focusing on building bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure rapidly in California to allow people to make that trip. Now, lo and behold, we've been doing that since the 90s here, and we've done a good job. Costa Mesa is a city that's probably one of the leading cutting-edge cities in California that has developed bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. And we've been doing that again since the 90s. But lo and behold, about 4 or 5 years ago, something changed. The electric bicycle began to become proliferated in the United States. And Orange County and Costa Mesa became an epicenter of that. So what does that mean? What is the difference, right? Well, on a traditional bicycle, I can go about 20 kilometers an hour. So again, within about 20 minutes, I can travel about 6 kilometers, 3 miles on my traditional bicycle. The electric bicycle has doubled that. So now, instead of being able to go 10 miles an hour, 20 kilometers an hour, or 20 kilometers in an hour, or 3 kilometers, or excuse me, 6 kilometers within, I'm trying to make the mathematical conversion for you all. But instead of being able to go 6 kilometers within 20 minutes, which is the green line, now I can go 12 kilometers within 20 minutes. So now the access point to this major retail corridor doubles. The shed doubles. The potential doubles. Now all of a sudden, when we look at these numbers of about 6 kilometers, about 50% of trips in the United States being within 6 kilometers or less, now all of a sudden those numbers are no longer relevant because of the electric bicycle. Now all of a sudden, almost all trips in the United States are within 12 kilometers, 6 miles, almost all of them. Which means all of a sudden we flip on the head this idea that 90% of trips in the United States need to be made by personal automobile. Now all of a sudden, almost all trips can be made by bicycle. Within this purple line is about close to 700,000 people. So there are about 700,000 people that are within a 20-minute bicycle ride of this commercial corridor. And these commercial corridors, these nodes, I don't know if you guys use the same word. I imagine you use the same word in Swedish urban planning, are all over Southern California. And in fact, they're all over the United States. The United States has very dense retail corridors that were built for automobiles. And now all of a sudden, most Americans are within electric bicycling distance. This presents a major point of transition for the United States. On the left-hand side, so this is my thesis, this is my theory, and this is what I have been pushing and selling and talking about extensively in my professional career here at the City of Costa Mesa, but also outside of my role here at the City of Costa Mesa. I've been sometimes occasionally on the radio here in Los Angeles and nationally, and I present this information at many conferences because to me, this is the greatest opportunity that has existed in the United States transportation landscape in over 100 years. And let me explain. So on the left-hand side is Fifth Avenue in New York City. Fifth Avenue in New York City, as you guys know, is one of the primary retail economic engines of the world. Many people would equate it to Wall Street, which is at the bottom side of Fifth Avenue. But this is generally considered one of the densest urban corridors in the entire world, right? It's the heart of Manhattan, the heart of New York City. So on the left-hand side is an aerial photo of Fifth Avenue in the year 1900. Now, for all of you studying urban planning, you should know what happened right before 1900. In the late 1890s, Henry Ford developed the Model T. And he began mass production of the Model T, the first automobile to be mass produced in the United States, which eventually led to automobile production globally. So this picture on the left is right after the Model T. And one thing you'll notice is there's no cars. These are all horse and buggy. So these little things you see are horse and buggy. There's some people on personal horses, just riding their horses, and there's a lot of people walking. 13 years later, that same street, Fifth Avenue in New York City, is basically choked with automobiles. So what happened? Well, as you all are studying in your class and in your profession, the world embraced the automobile rapidly. So in a period of 13 years, places like New York City were completely redeveloped. Their infrastructure was completely redeveloped in order to accommodate the automobile. And this allowed, like, for the rapid proliferation of the automobile and use of the automobile. It was like a plant was growing, right? A plant started to sprout, and it was watered, and it was given sunlight, and it grew, and it expanded rapidly. So the whole world, Europe, the United States, Asia, started to redo their infrastructure to accommodate this new technology, the automobile. Well, here we're at a time globally where we should be focusing on redeveloping our infrastructure to accommodate the electric bicycle because it presents maybe the largest opportunity, the largest development in urban transportation infrastructure in the last 100+ years.
On the note of time, we have 5 more minutes left.
Perfect. So here in Costa Mesa, we have many streets that look like this. And we're slowly developing our streets to look like this, to be filled with bikes. We're slowly pushing away from our old ways and moving into the development of infrastructure that supports the bicycle. So what does this mean? Well, we need to be looking at separation of modes. Not only do we need to separate the bicycle from automobiles, which we've been doing, we need to also separate the bike from pedestrian and potentially look at the development of new infrastructure that separates electric bicycles from traditional bicycles. The speed differential between 40 kilometers an hour and 20 kilometers an hour is great. Traditional bicycles go about 20 kilometers an hour when you're riding it. Well, the electric bicycle goes about 40 kilometers an hour when you're riding it. So this may need to be separated if we want to truly embrace it. We also need to develop much better bicycle parking in the United States. And we need to develop much better training of safety protocols for the riding of bicycles and for the training of drivers, automobile drivers, in order to understand bicycles. And with that, that is my presentation. I am done, and I don't know if there's time for questions or not, but I'm very happy to take any questions if there are.
Thank you very much. And you hear the cheers.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, sir.
The students here in Malmö are cheering and applauding, and we really liked your presentation. And we, of course, have the same discussion here in Sweden concerning electrical bikes, but also we have something called electrical scooters, which is like a skateboard with a steering wheel on it. And it's become extremely popular as a complement to ordinary bikes and also electrical bikes. Actually, electrical bikes have been quite common for at least a decade, perhaps 2 decades. And in one period, a few years ago, there was a state subsidy for people to buy electrical bikes. So it's very, very common in Sweden. However, we have a problem with the Swedish way of planning cities for pedestrians and bikers and electrical scooter riders is that they are mixed on the same lanes. And it has turned out to create some problems driving in different speeds, and also pedestrians walking slowly and electric bikes going very fast. So we actually do have quite some accidents connected to these issues. I don't know if is there a question from the audience here in Malmö? It was very good. I heard someone say, yes, yeah, they really liked it. Yeah,
well, you guys are the younger generations are, this Gen Z. I imagine most of you are Gen Z, maybe some Gen Alphas in the room. Yeah. This opportunity is maybe, again, the biggest opportunity in the modern era. I mean, the previous developments, that me, maybe, and your professor and Zia and the rest of the group have been trying to bring back our old technologies, right? The rail is definitely the best way for interurban travel, is without a doubt rail. There is no better way. And now the United States is struggling to build rail. Thankfully, Europe is endowed with a pretty decent rail system, and Asia has lower cost of labor to build rail rapidly, but that's an old technology. The automobile has been around for 100 years and is now choking our cities. Well, the electric bicycle is new. It's a new development. The batteries are getting smaller, and they're going to become lighter and lighter and lighter and easier to produce and less expensive. This is a huge opportunity. It should be embraced. Unfortunately, many people are pushing back against this technology. We need to embrace it the way that New York City embraced the automobile. We have to embrace this because it is maybe the biggest opportunity possible for us to make that leap in our cities and make it so cars are less dominant in urban environments. And really, that's your generation that's going to be able to do that. So I hope and I pray that all of you take this and move forward with this concept. And also feel free to look me up. There's other stuff I have online. Listen to some of my podcast and stuff that talk about mode share. Because that's my other thing is if we're not building the infrastructure properly, as your professor says, there's going to be collisions. There's going to be accidents, as they say. There's going to be things that allow people to push back on this. We need to be building proper infrastructure, which is a whole story for another day. And maybe we can come back next year and have that discussion.
We will.
Thank you all gratefully. Much appreciated.
We are very appreciating here. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, perhaps I should show myself. Liked it. And the students, they're all 55 of them sitting, but we cannot move the camera. And now,
great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Mr. Brett Atencio Thomas, City of Costa Mesa Active Transportation Coordinator. We sincerely thank you for your valuable contribution and for sharing your expertise at the SCD seminar. It is our honor to have you as a guest speaker and have the opportunity to learn the insightful and inspiring project initiation of e-bike in Costa Mesa. We deeply appreciate your time, knowledge, and the meaningful perspectives you brought to today's seminar. Thank you.
Now we will move forward to our next student presentation 4. Our next presentation is PostNord's Work with Sustainable City Logistics, presented by Amar Nuhanovic, Amar Hugo, Mohammed Hams Alavi, Leon Zigjani, and Eder Main. Please welcome the presenters.
Good evening, everyone. Or should I say, good morning, California. Hope you're enjoying the show as much as we are. So, as you can see, we are only 4 people, so we're missing our lovely Leon Zogiani, who is unfortunately sick, and we are praying him we wish him a speedy recovery. Okay, now on to our presentation. Today, we'll present our project. We'll present our project about PostNord and sustainable city logistics.
1 second. I found the wrong presentation. Sorry.
No stress, no stress.
I'm not stressed. I'm just here. Now.
All right, let's get on. So we will present our project about PostNord and sustainable city logistics. As e-commerce continues to grow, cities face increasing challenges such as traffic congestion, emissions, and inefficient deliveries. Therefore, logistics companies play an important role in creating more sustainable urban transport systems. In this presentation, we will examine how PostNord uses smart technology, route optimization, electrification, and parcel lockers to improve sustainability and reduce environmental impact.
The introduction.
PostNord is one of the largest postal logistics companies in the Nordic region. The company was founded in 2009 through the merger of the Swedish and Denmark's national postal services. And today, the operates across Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and Finland. The purpose of our project is to analyze how PostNord uses sustainable logistics solutions to create a more environmentally friendly urban transport system.
To understand PostNord's sustainability work, we use theories related to smart cities, sustainable development, and city logistics. Smart cities focus on using technology and data to improve urban life and reduce environmental impacts. Sustainable development is based on 3 dimensions: environmental, social, and economic stability. We also use the concept of city logistics, which focuses on making which focuses on making urban freight transport more efficient while reducing emission, congestion, and noise. These theories provide a framework for evaluating PostNord's sustainability initiatives.
Hello, guys. Hello. Yes. Hello. Our SWOT analysis highlights both strengths and challenges within PostNord's sustainability strategy. One of PostNord's main strengths is its extensive logistics network and large parcel locker infrastructure. The company has also invested heavily in the digitalization, route optimization, and sustainable transport solutions. However, there are also weaknesses. The transition to electric vehicles requires large investments, and the company still depends heavily on road transport. There are several opportunities for future growth, including increasing demand for sustainable deliveries, smart city initiatives, and advances in AI-based logistics. At the same time, competition within the logistics industry, rising energy costs, and changing relations represent potential threats. Overall, PostNord's strengths and opportunities appear to outweigh its weaknesses and threats.
Thank you, Amar. That was very good. Based on our analysis, we conclude that PostNord is actively working toward a more sustainable logistics system. The company uses smart technology, electrification, route optimization, and parcel lockers to improve efficiency and reduce environmental impact. These initiatives are closely connected to smart city principles and support the transition toward a more sustainable urban transportation. Although challenges remain, PostNord has made significant progress and demonstrates a strong commitment to sustainability. Okay. Now, based on our findings, we have several recommendations for PostNord. The first one is to expand the use of electric vehicles, increase AI-based route optimizations, continue growing the parcel locker network, invest more in renewable energy, strengthen smart city partnerships, and these actions could further reduce emissions, improve efficiency, and strengthen PostNord's position as a leader in sustainable city logistics.
Next slide, please. Our analysis is based on PostNord's annual and sustainability report, course literature, and scientific sources related to smart cities, sustainable development, and city logistics. These sources helped us connect PostNord's practical initiatives with relevant sustainability theories. Welcome.
So thank you everyone for listening. We hope this presentation has provided useful insights into how PostNord contributes to sustainable city logistics. We are now happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you were quick, so we might have time for a question, either from California or from the audience here.
Are there any questions?
No, you said it all.
Yeah,
We-
perfect.
So thank you. Now I will present the awards, and this time perhaps they are in. Okay. You can take that later. Amar Nuhanovic. Thank you very much and congratulations. Muhammad Hamza. Thank you very much. Eder Mane.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And Amar Diogo. Let me guess, is it you?
Yes.
Yes, that's you.
Awesome.
Oh,
Good
thank you
work,
very
guys.
much.
Good work. Thank you.
And now I guess it's time for, we will see here what happens.
Well done on a compelling presentation. Your research was clearly explained and thoughtfully developed. PostNord's work with sustainable city logistics. Presented by Amar Nuhanovic, Amar Hugo, Mohammed Hams Alavi, Leon Zigjani, and Eder Main. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some rewind and stretch. We will now take a short 15-minute break. Please return promptly as we continue with the second half of today's seminar.
Hello, hello.
Yes, we have 1 minute left.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back everyone. Moving on to our second half of the seminar, we will welcome student research presentation number 5. Our next presentation is Sustainability Analysis, Landskrona City, presented by Isaac Ljungny, Georgios Mathiodakis, Victor Olsen, Marco Stajic, and Maximilian Y. Please welcome the group.
So we're back from the break, and
It's fine. Like, do you want me to re-announce it? Was I a little earlier? Or we'll just continue with that? Professor, can you hear me? Oh,
hello. Now I had some problems with the sound here, but now we're back and set for the next presentation, which is about sustainability actions of the city of Landskrona. I think the introduction was already presented, I think.
yes. Yeah. It was, but yeah.
So if you stop sharing, we call the Landskrona guys.
Yeah, I've stopped sharing. Yes.
And
all right.
These are the guys from Landskrona.
Awesome.
It's a city just north of Malmö, and they will present sustainability in Landskrona. And here it comes. There it is. Varsågoda.
Hello and welcome to our presentation about Landskrona and sustainability analysis. I am Max and this is Zach. Here's Marco and Georgios.
In response to the global climate crisis, cities like Landskrona play an important role in sustainable urban development. Landskrona is located between several major cities in Sweden, which creates challenges in balancing economic growth with environmental and social responsibility. The city is growing rapidly and aims to combine economic expansion with strong sustainability goals to attract citizens, businesses, and future partners. The purpose of this report is, in short, to evaluate Landskrona's sustainability profile from the perspective of a potential strategic partner. To create a structured analysis, the report uses established sustainability frameworks and regulations. The Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, or CSRD, is an EU directive that increases transparency in sustainability reporting. Although it mainly applies to large companies, It also provides a benchmark for how public organizations like Landskrona should communicate their environmental, social, and economic impact to stakeholders.
ISO is an international standard for environmental management. It helps organizations reduce environmental impact, follow environmental laws, and improve sustainability work over time.
Landskrona's main sustainability focus areas are built around 3 themes. The first area is minimum possible climate impact. This means that the city aims to move towards renewable energy, electrification, and climate-conscious investment decisions. This is important because a growing city can easily increase its emissions if development is not managed properly. The second area is valuable nature and high biodiversity. This focuses on protecting natural areas, local species, and green spaces. This is not only important for the environment, but also for the quality of life for residents, since green areas support recreation, health, and a more attractive urban environment. The third area is healthy and sustainable living. This includes air quality, water quality, noise levels, chemicals, waste, and recycling. So here we can see that sustainability is not only about climate, it's also about how people are affected in their everyday lives. What makes this more credible is that Landskrona connects these goals to its environmental program 2023 to 2030, ISO 14001 alignment, and yearly performance audits. This makes the sustainability work appear more structured, not just symbolic. The SWOT analysis gives us a clearer picture of Landskrona's position. The main strengths are that Landskrona has extensive reporting, clear statistics, and a transparent approach to both progress and environmental challenges. This reduces the risk of sustainability work being seen as just marketing. The weaknesses are mainly connected to reporting. The city's reporting is not fully standardized according to EU CSRD requirements, which makes it harder to compare Landskrona with other cities or organizations. Some sustainability areas could also be explained more clearly. The opportunities are strong. A clear sustainability profile can help Landskrona attract companies like DSV and Pågen, while also appealing to environmentally conscious residents. Urban growth can therefore become a driver for green investments. The main threats are future stricter reporting requirements, higher living costs, and economic pressure from high borrowing costs, which could make green projects harder to finance. So overall, Landskrona has a credible sustainability foundation, but long-term success depends on continued transparency, measurable goals, and regular follow-ups.
2 more minutes.
For the postal analysis for Landskrona, politically and legally, Landskrona follows the environmental program between 2023 and 2030 that relies heavily on policy continuity. And the city is exempt from EU corporate mandates because the EU doesn't mandate municipalities to follow them strictly. But it still tries to follow them, and it benchmarks against the ISO. And economically, the city is in a very strategic position, driving in major investment from partners like DSV and Pågen. And this economic growth fuels both social changes and growing population that demands better quality of life. Cleaner air and quiet suburban spaces. However, the city faces macroeconomic tightrope, like Marco mentioned, rising borrowing costs, economic pressures that could threaten the funding for the municipality. Finally, looking at the technical and environmental intersection, Landskrona is dealing with a high transit pollution due to neighboring highways because it is close to a highway. And to combat this, they are deploying digital systems for real-time air and water quality monitoring, while systematically upgrading to smart heating and advanced recycling technology. In summary, in conclusion, our key findings show that Landskrona aligns with the ISO principles and its environmental programs proves their commitment is structural and not superficial marketing. Furthermore, they are willing to openly publish their negative metrics as well as their good ones, like their legacy and in producing heavy metals and air pollution. And this proves their transparency and their highly credible and significantly lower greenwashing risks for us. And the economic interest from market leaders like DSV and Pögen also validates this. Therefore, we recommend Landskrona as a great and reliable partner to do business in and with. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great presentation, and now it's time for the compulsory certificate handout. Oh, I don't know what happened. Stop. I have to.
Yeah, just yes.
Stop sharing now. Now,
Awesome.
now
Okay.
you see us. So, certificate. Maximilian, thank you very much. Georgios,
Matthew.
Great, thanks. Isaac Jungne, Marko Stojic, and Victor. I think, no, he was sick, yes. So you can take his too. Thank you very much for a nice presentation.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So now I guess it's time for a new presentation, or?
Well done. Strong academic contribution. Your research was clearly communicated and well supported. Sustainability Analysis, Landskrona City. Presented by Isaac Ljungny, Georgios Mathiodakis, Victor Olsen, Marko Stojic, and Maximilian Y.
Moving on to our next presentation, Group 6, Discussion on Malmö City Sustainability Work, presented by Oscar Mellgren, Carl Nielsen Wellen, and Dennis Olofsson. Please join me in welcoming the presenters.
Here they come. And this is what they actually look like in real life. And as you see, the sun is coming into the room from outside. Actually, we are having kind of a summer here in Sweden, 20 degrees hot and very nice. But instead, we are looking at the Malmö City presentation, which comes... Ni ser den där, men vad 17 har...
I think so. And the bottom on the right-hand side, there would be... Oh, no. I think so. What you need to do, like on the top right-hand side, the box near to the cross, just click on that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I see.
Yeah, and I think so on the bottom there will be a slide. Oh, right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome. No, thank you. Appreciate it.
So, please.
Yeah. Continue.
Start.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to you guys in Pomona. My name is Dennis, and here is Oscar, Carl, Anton, and Adam. And today we will present our analysis of Malmö City and its work with sustainable urban development and transport. We chose Malmö because it's one of Sweden's fastest growing cities and has become internationally recognized for its sustainability initiatives, especially within transport and urban planning. Cities today face several major challenges, including climate change, rapid urbanization, and unsustainable transport systems. Transport alone is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions worldwide, which means cities must rethink how people travel and how urban areas are planned. The purpose of our presentation is therefore to analyze how Malmö works with sustainability and sustainable transport solutions. To do this, we use two main frameworks, the triple bottom line framework and a SWOT analysis. Finally, we provide a recommendation regarding future cooperation with Malmö City. Malmö currently has around 370,000 inhabitants, and the population is expected to grow to approximately 500,000 by 2050. Because of this growth, sustainable planning becomes increasingly important. Malmö has set ambitious climate goals. For example, the city aims for 70% sustainable travels and net zero emissions in the city operations by 2030. The city focuses heavily on cycling infrastructure, public transportation, and reducing car dependency by relocating street space toward more sustainable mobility options. Malmö sustainability strategy is also strongly connected to Agenda 2030 and the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
To analyze Malmö's sustainability work, we applied the triple bottom line framework developed by John Elkington. This framework evaluates organizations based on three dimensions. First, profit, which focuses on economic sustainability and long-term financial stability. Second, people, which focuses on social sustainability, equality, public health, and community well-being. And third, planet, which focuses on reducing environmental impact and promoting climate-smart planning. The framework helps us understand whether Malmö balances environmental, social, and economical sustainability together.
When looking at Malmö's sustainability strategy, we can clearly see the efforts in all three areas. Socially, Malmö works to reduce inequality, improve safety in vulnerable neighborhoods such as Lindängen, and increase school completion rates among young people. Environmentally, the city aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 70% compared to 1990 levels. Malmö also has an environmental program with 12 sub-goals guiding the city's sustainability efforts. Economically, Malmö focuses on maintaining long-term financial stability through the debt control, employment growth, and balance revenues and costs.
One of Malmö's most famous sustainability projects is Västra Hamnen. This district is internationally recognized as a model for sustainable urban development. The area is powered entirely by locally produced energy, making it a strong example of climate-smart city planning. Malmö also has set transport targets where approximately 75% of all trips should be made using sustainable transport methods like walking, cycling, or public transport. In addition, Västra Hamnen functions as an innovation hub where new technologies and sustainable solutions are tested. The district also was designed with social inclusion and public health in mind, creating accessible and attractive public spaces for residents. Our SWOT analysis identified several strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Some major strengths are Malmö's strong sustainability profile, its cycling and public transport infrastructure, and projects like Västra Hamnen. However, Malmö also faces weaknesses especially housing shortages and social insecurity in some areas. There are also opportunities for Malmö to become a global role model for sustainable cities and attract green investment and talent. At the same time, climate change presents a serious threat. For example, rising sea levels, extreme heat, storms, and flooding could significantly impact the city in the future.
When combining the SWOT analysis with the triple bottom line framework, we can see how Malmö's sustainable efforts are connected. Economically, projects like Västra Hamnen create jobs and attract investment, but affordably, housing remains a challenge. Socially, Malmö works with crime prevention and climate resilience, although issues like youth crime and heat waves still needs attention. Environmentally, renewable energy, sustainable transport supports Malmö's climate goals while also strengthening the city's economy and attractiveness. Overall, Malmö's environmental and social investments also create long-term economic value.
We also examined the risk of greenwashing. Greenwashing occurs when organizations exaggerate positive environmental achievements while hiding negative impacts. In Malmö's case, we found that the risk appears relatively low. The city publishes transparent environmental reports every year and openly acknowledge areas where targets are not yet being met, such as biodiversity goals. However, there is still some risk that the strong focus on Västra Hamnen could overshadow sustainability challenges in other parts of the city.
To conclude, Malmö demonstrates high level of ambition across all three dimensions of sustainability: environmental, social, and economic.
The city combines ambitious climate targets with transparent reporting and innovative urban development projects, although challenges remain, especially regarding housing shortages, social inequality, and climate vulnerability. Malmö still appears to be a strong and reliable partner for sustainable development. Therefore, our final recommendation is to enter cooperation with Malmö City, since it is an innovative, transparent, forward-thinking organization with a proven commitment to sustainability. Thank you.
Good work, guys. Good work.
Thank you very much. And once again, the sun is almost bothering those students. But we will now present the certificate. And as a thank you for your nice presentation, here are your certificates that you've been longing for.
Yeah.
Dennis Olofsson. Oskar Mellgren. Carl Nilsson Velin. Anton Rosling. And Adam Urskog. Thank you very much.
Well done, Group 6. You gave a strong presentation that combined clarity, relevance, and good academic effort. On Malmö City Sustainability Work. Presenters: Oskar Mellgren, Carl Nielsen Wellen, and Dennis Olofsson.
It is now our honor to introduce our second guest speaker, Ms. Melinda Dacey. Melinda Dacey serves as a principal planner at the City of Costa Mesa, California, and has extensive experience in community planning, redevelopment strategy, and sustainable urban planning initiatives. Her work focuses on creating inclusive and community-oriented development solutions that support long-term sustainability goals. Today, she will be presenting the city's Fairview Developmental Center efforts, with topics related to community service and sustainable planning. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Melinda Dacey.
morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm excited to be here and present the City of Costa Mesa's efforts for a new specific plan for the community. Can I get the ability to share my screen?
Of course, I think you can share it automatically. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Yes, we see it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So as indicated, I'm Melinda Dacey, Principal Planner with the City of Costa Mesa, and I'm currently project managing the creation of a new specific plan for the city. And for reference, a specific plan is a land use tool that California jurisdictions utilize to establish vision, guiding principles, and development standards for specific areas in a community. In this instance, the specific plan will guide future redevelopment of the state-owned property located at 2501 Harbor Boulevard, also called the Fairview Developmental Center, or FDC. So my presentation today will be focused on the urban design and the process the city went through to develop a preferred land use plan that is incorporated into the public draft specific plan. I will also briefly touch on the history of the FDC property and the goals for the site established by the city and state regulations. So as noted, I would like to provide everyone a little more background about the history of the property for some context. The site was originally developed by the state in the late 1950s as a state-run mental health facility for people of all ages with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The facility began official operations in 1959 and subsequently entered into a warm shutdown process, with the facility officially concluding its operations in December of 2025. This is due to the greater understanding of mental health needs, and the model for providing care changed from a hospital institutional type of setting into a group home type of a setting. And just for references, a warm shutdown means that the facility was maintained and had a license to temporarily house emergent cases while a permanent home for care was found. So several actions by the city and state have laid the groundwork for this project. The city began the preparation of the specific plan in 2022 and 2023. The state passed several bills relating to the property, which established certain parameters that include the site being a mixed income, mixed use site where housing is one of the main focuses of the specific plan. The city and applicable state agencies initially met on a weekly basis that has since transitioned to biweekly or as needed meetings. So a few of the state agencies that the city is currently working with is the Department of General Services and the Department of Developmental Services. There has been significant coordination that has taken place early on in the process with these agencies to determine the future plans and incorporate the state's needs identified in the bills that were passed by the legislation here in California. And then I will touch on the city's priorities on the next slide. So as noted, housing is one of the main focuses of the specific plan. In California, each city is required to plan for future housing demand as part of a long-term growth of the city. This future housing plan is incorporated into what is called a housing element, which is a component of a general plan document that establishes the long-term goals for the city. Accordingly, Costa Mesa designated the following housing goals for the FDC site, which meets only a small portion of the total housing goal that the city was allocated through the housing element process. Although housing is a main focus for the specific plan, other uses are allowed and in some cases are required for the property according to other city regulations. Next, I'll walk through the key decisions that have been made by the state, which is influencing the final preferred land use plan for the project. The original specific plan boundary that was provided by the Department of General Services in 2023 included 115 acres. The area shown in yellow was known as Shannon's Mountain, for which a request for bids was issued by the state, but nothing was ever finalized. The site is surrounded by the Costa Mesa Municipal Golf Course and includes one primary vehicular entry point into the site, which is accessible from Harbor Boulevard and Fair Drive, which is at this intersection here. While the city was in the process of hiring a consultant to prepare the specific plan and select a consultant to take on a large portion of the work related to the creation of the document, the California Office of Environmental Services or Emergency Services, which is also called Cal OES, was also seeking a location to establish a second emergency operations center within the state, or an EOC. Ultimately, Cal OES determined and identified that 15 acres of the FDC property is suitable for the new location of their state EOC. The EOC is currently undergoing construction-related activities that started in the fall of 2025. And that is the area in blue on the screen. As part of the discovery process during the state coordination meetings, the city team learned that the Mark Lane properties were part of the Harbor Village land lease, which is the areas identified in pink. So Harbor Village is the area located north of the specific plan boundary area. At this time, the city also learned that Merrimack Way was a private road that is available for emergency access only. In addition, the DDS state agency also determined that they would no longer move forward with the Shannon Mountain location for their housing needs, and subsequently adjusted their 15 acres to the northern portion of the FDC site to be contiguous to the existing Harbor Village apartment community. In addition, further constraints were identified with respect to the Emergency Operations Center. They are required to have a 120-foot radio antenna tower located on site, which requires additional constraints for incorporation to the specific plan in relation to building heights, so that that emergency communications tower can also communicate with the other array alignments with communication towers throughout the county. And with all of this information in mind, the remaining land available for future redevelopment of a master developer is 80 acres. However, the DDS remaining acreage is 15 acres, and that would also be included within the specific plan for a total of 95 acres for the project. Once all of these constraints were known to the city and the project team, we began to work with the community and gain their input and engagement for the land use plan concepts. The community was presented with the following concepts prior to the project team completing a financial feasibility analysis for the project. The purpose of these concepts were to test a range of options, incorporate input from the public, and document what works and doesn't work. Note that the city is required by the state to complete the financial feasibility analysis as part of the project to ensure that future redevelopment of the property can occur. In addition, it is also the city's responsibility to create a specific plan for the FDC site that ensures future development provides all required infrastructure, public services, open space, public safety services, and appropriate development impact fees to support the level of development that is reasonable to assume for a future master developer to pursue a financially feasible development scenario. The financial feasibility analysis represents a conservative planning level estimation of financial risk and rewards that a master developer would face undertaking the development of the FDC. It is based on industry standards, but the selected master developer will have their own business model and approach to reach financial feasibility. So the different types of concepts are shown on the screen with the land use plans that were associated with those different concepts. Based on the financial feasibility analysis, which as I mentioned was not available at this time, concept 2 and 3 were determined to be somewhat financially feasible. And the feasibility analysis found that those two concepts were feasible, but as you can see in concept 2, there was a gap in financing, but it was still determined to be financially feasible. Concept 1 did not have enough density on the site to accommodate the affordable housing that is included within the project. So nevertheless, Concept 1 was presented to the community, and at that time, it also included the area noted as DDS housing to the north, but this area has since been removed from the plan. By the state, these concepts were presented to the community. The different housing product types include townhomes, stacked flats, and residential wrap buildings, the location of the commercial and retail for a mixed-use community, as well as distribution and programming of parks and open space throughout the site. Concept 2 is a little more dense and has a smaller gap in financing as compared to Concept 1. In this concept, the open space area was increased by 4 acres as compared to Concept 1, so townhomes were no longer included in this concept. Podium and wrap style housing product types are included in this concept with commercial and retail area adjacent to the open space. In addition, Concept 2 requires a new secondary access road through the golf course. And finally, Concept 3 was presented to the community. It is more dense, but includes a greater variety of housing types, including the townhomes. The open space in this concept was reduced to accommodate the variety of housing types, and the secondary access road is still a requirement in this concept as well. And the reason why a secondary access road is required in these concepts is because the residential dwelling unit capacity, it goes above 2,300 units, which is when a secondary access road is required. So the city held several open house meetings throughout 2023 and 2024, in addition to 4 planning commission study session meetings and 2 city council meetings. So several key topics covered at the workshop open houses, and there's a community survey as well, included various themes and ideas to shape the preferred plan and ultimately be incorporated into the specific plan. Some of these include a variety of housing options available to different income levels and designed for various stages of life. Some of the feedback that was obtained from the community was to see active open space options, which were important. Trails and pedestrian connections were also a priority. The community also determined that traffic should be balanced. Harbor Boulevard is a busy street, and that all options, bike, ped, and vehicles should have safe access, and that one access point from Fair Drive was not sufficient. And the community had a variety of ideas to include in the vision statement for the plan, but the overall feedback is that the specific plan should be a well-planned community neighborhood for Costa Mesa, and that a grand entry with additional access was a preferred circulation and site design feature. So with the public input received, the city began to refine the plan further while getting input and feedback from the city's planning commission. The planning commission is a board of appointed officials responsible for reviewing and providing recommendation to the city council for the specific plan. So based on the community input, these alternatives were developed and presented to the planning commission over 3 study sessions that occurred in the summer and fall of 2025. The Planning Commission provided input to the project team to create more of an integrated mixed-use environment rather than including standalone commercial space, include an active trail network with a central paseo, while incorporating the grand entry or promenade that this community desired to see in this new neighborhood. As such, the Planning Commission had received the following recommended proposed land use plan. This is the refined plan that came from the Planning Commission feedback over the summer sessions. So ultimately, the residential development range includes a minimum of 2,300 residential units up to a maximum of 4,000. This can accommodate the city's housing goals, as noted earlier in the presentation. It includes 35,000 square feet of commercial and also has different metrics to meet the city's open space requirements, which would include a 14-acre minimum open space. This plan was ultimately presented to the City Council, who supported the Planning Commission's recommendation. After all of this input was gathered, the project team began to draft the specific plan and release the public review draft document in March of this year. The specific plan includes development standards, the land use plan, open space requirements, the mobility plan, which emphasizes all modes of transportation for pedestrians, bicycles, and vehicles, which gets you into that sustainability component for this future development project. Examples of the development standards included in the plan are listed on the slide, but include items such as building heights. The specific plan allows for building heights up to 135 feet, depending on the housing product type that is reasonably foreseeable to be constructed, massing transitions, and pedestrian or human-scaled activation areas throughout the plan. Now, the following renderings were developed by the consultant team, and they are based on the standards included in the specific plan. The rendering on the right depicts townhome housing product type and shows how the open space and pedestrian scale can be planned into the future redevelopment based on the standards in the specific plan. While the rendering on the left shows a taller housing product type of stacked flats and how the open space can be integrated into the future development. In addition, the specific plan includes mobility standards throughout the plan, which includes new bicycle infrastructure. An example of the Promenade Street cross-section is included in the draft specific plan. In the street section, you can see how the different modes of transportation are incorporated into the plan as an example. And this is a high-level timeline of the project that shows the process that was undertaken by the city's project team to date. The city completed open houses in March of this year, and further refinements to the specific plan are ongoing based on the public input received. The city is currently undergoing the public review process of the environmental clearance document required in California, and I anticipate presenting the final version of the plan to the Planning Commission and City Council in August and September of this year. And this concludes my presentation, and if anyone is interested in learning more about this project, please visit the project webpage at fdcplan.com, where you can scan the QR code included on the slide. Thank you for having me as a guest speaker today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your knowledge and information that you provided us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we are applauding here from Malmö. And we actually conclude that the planning process is quite similar here in Sweden. And actually, we have several areas just like yours in Costa Mesa being a former mental hospital. We have those areas in Malmö, one called Vipeholm, it's Lund, sorry. Lund, Vipeholm, which became a school, a high school, gymnasium, and we had St. Lars, a big mental facility in Lund, close to Malmö, which is now some kind of industrial area, I think. And Segevång in Malmö, the same thing. And actually, the good thing about those facilities, I would say, is that you already have a structure and you already have a set of buildings that could be refined and accompanied by new structures, new buildings, new infrastructure, and so on. And actually, the Segevång area in Malmö is designed as a sustainable area with a predominantly as you called it earlier in the last presentation, action travel or action mobility, where people walk and bicycle and no cars are allowed and so on. So it was very interesting for us to hear that even the United States and Costa Mesa is working like we do, and the other way around, of course, we are learning from you. I don't think it's the other way around. So thank you very much for your good presentation.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Ms. Melinda Dacey, we thank you for your excellent work showcasing both academic depth and real-world application in city development. Your thoughtful and engaging presentation has enriched today's seminar discussions with all of us learning about the new developments in Fairview, Costa Mesa. Thank you. Our next presentation is Sustainable Development, an analysis of DSV's sustainability strategy, presented by Ana Diana Eldina Fatima H. and Roa. Please join me in welcoming the group.
Yes. Well, here they are. You see them clearly.
Awesome.
Still sunny. And I will start sharing the presentation. And
Alltså klicka fram.
you, yeah. Here it is. Here's the presentation. And I click forward.
Hello and welcome to our presentation about DSV's sustainability strategy in transport and logistics. The transport sector is one of the global industries with the most significant climate impact. In Sweden alone, it is responsible for more than a third of all national emissions. To combat this, there is an urgent need for fewer, shorter, and greener transport solutions. However, executing this emission reduction effectively becomes a major challenge. Within the logistics industry, it has become an essential requirement for organizations to thoroughly investigate and process the sustainability work of their business partners. This is particularly relevant when examining DSV, whose core vision focuses on creating sustainable growth for the entire society at large. To realize this vision, DSV has introduced various initiatives for reducing CO2 emissions by investing heavily in technology and sustainable transport.
Yeah, so DSV was founded in 1976 in Denmark, and it's today one of the world's leading transport and logistics companies. The organization operates in more than 90 countries with approximately 150,000 employees. In 2025, DB Schenker bought DSV, which further strengthened the company's global position. The company is organized into 3 business areas: air and sea, road, and solution.
The primary focus of this study is to analyze DSV's sustainability efforts and ultimately provide a clear recommendation regarding future collaboration. This evaluation is supported by relevant theoretical frameworks alongside a comprehensive SWOT analysis. Specifically, the study is guided by the following research question. What concrete measures does DSV implement to reduce its climate impact within road, air, and sea transportation?
The report was conducted as a qualitative study based mainly on DSV's public publications, together with course literature, articles, the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency, and the Swedish Society for Nature Conservation. The purpose was to analyze how organizations apply and communicate climate work. The analysis is based on theories, models from the course books Environmental Management, Green Logistics, Circular Logistics, including Triple Bottom Line, CSR, and Environmental Management Systems. A SWOT analysis was used to identify DSV's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Since most of the material comes from DSV's own publications, there's a risk of biased information, which made source criticism and awareness of possible greenwashing important. The use of AI in the study was limited to language editing. The theory is based on different sustainability theories, Triple bottom line explains that companies should balance economic, social, and environmental sustainability in their work. This is especially important in the transport and logistics sector, where sustainability challenges are significant. Another important theory is corporate social responsibility, or CSR, which focuses on companies taking responsibility for their impact on society and the environment.
The theory also highlights the importance of meeting stakeholder expectations and avoiding greenwashing, where companies exaggerate their sustainability efforts. The report includes environmental management systems and ISO 14001, which help companies improve sustainability work through continuous development. Green logistics focuses on reducing emissions and environmental impact in transportation through energy efficiency, better transport planning, and alternative fuels. Finally, circular logistics highlights the importance of recycling, reuse, and return flows in modern logistics systems.
Our analysis consists of the SWOT analysis along with connecting to the previous theories that were mentioned. DSV communicates sustainability differently to key stakeholders. For customers, they communicate CO2 reduction through invoices and green transport options. They also support the demand for sustainable logistics. For investors, they focus on corporate sustainability reporting directive compliance, which reduce regulatory risk. However, only 42% of sites of DSV support that, which could be also a weakness. ISO 14001 certificate is an international standard for environmental management to reduce environmental impact. They also follow science-based targets initiatives, which targets climate goals that are going according to the Paris Agreement and not only for marketing. Triple bottom line analysis, DSV corporate through investments in technology in order to increase the profitability and expansion, along with their investment in fuel switch, which supports the environmental dimension. DSV ensures that they are also beneficial for the society through their communication. One of the weaknesses is the reliance on Scope 3 too much, which is the emissions from suppliers, transport, product use, and all other connected activities around the business. Lastly, green logistic and circular economy. DSV is improving logistics through making it more efficient and clearer. Examples are the fuel efficiency, road changes, fuller trucks, and the usage of HVO 1000, along with sustainable aviation fuel and electrification.
To conclude, while DSV's sustainability efforts are well structured, their rapid business growth makes hitting absolute climate goals a major challenge. Because of this, any collaboration must come with clear conditions. The recommendation is to focus on 3 areas. First, a strict requirement for reporting emission reductions. There must be access to data on how much carbon is actually being cut. Second, the integration of circular and reverse logistics into the collaboration. DSV currently lacks a clear plan, so it's crucial to actively request smarter recycling, reuse, and return loops. Finally, regular monitoring and follow-up of DSV's 2030 climate targets. This ensures consistent checks that the organization remains on track to hit its absolute climate goals despite its growth plans. Setting these clear boundaries makes a partnership ethically justified while driving real measurable progress. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And very interesting presentation. And now the compulsory certificate handout. And we start with Eldina Puhovic. There you are. Fatima El Hassan. Thank you. Anna Popovska. Diana Kazal. And Rahab Babli. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So,
we appreciate your team's effort and the way you connected your findings to real-world implications. Group 7 title: Sustainable Development, an Analysis of DS.
Yeah.
Did it went well?
Hello.
Hello. Did you hear the?
No, yeah, half of it, and then
Okay.
the sound stopped.
Yeah. Stopped. Okay. I apologize for that. 1 minute.
SV Sustainability Strategy. Presenters: Anna, Diana, Eldina, Fatima H., and Roa.
We are coming to the end of the seminar and would like to appreciate everyone's hard work. Now we'll hearing the presentation number 8, title A Sustainability Analysis of Bring, a SWOT and Pastel Approach, presented by Alma, Elvira, Emilia, Sophie, and Elaine.
Just a second. If you stop.
Yes, please. Yeah.
There you are. Here we have the group, the Bring group, and the group will bring you Bring. And Bring is a logistics company in Sweden. And here it comes.
Yeah. Just want to make my personal apologies for the previous group. It was kind of a technical fault. I appreciate that, but I appreciate your hard work, and it was an amazing presentation. Thank you, guys, ladies.
Yeah. Once again, hearty applause for the previous group.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we come to Bring. Like that, I think. Now,
awesome.
Please.
Yeah.
No. You have to press. Andra sidan där.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Definitely
great.
can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, Malmö, and good morning to everybody that is joining us from California. We are Group 3, and my name is Emilia, and this is Eliane, Elvira, Sophie, and Alma. And we are very happy to present our project to you guys. It's a pastel and SWOT approach of Bring. So the study analyzes the logistics company Bring and its sustainability work, focusing on social and environmental aspects. It examines how Bring communicates ethics, equality, and environmental impact in its sustainability reports, and evaluates its role in the transport market. The study also assesses whether Bring meets the sustainability requirements and provides a recommendation on a potential collaboration from an ethical perspective. But what is Bring, or who is Bring? So Bring is a Nordic logistics company focused on transport and delivery solutions, where sustainability is central. The company aims to reduce environmental impact through fossil-free fuels and electric vehicles. Its green brand reflects its environmental focus, including the use of HVO, biogas, and electricity. Bring has about 13,000 employees and emphasizes values such as honesty, cooperation, and respect, along with benefits like collective agreements, wellness support, and employee perks.
Bring's business
ethics. Bring demonstrates strong business ethics through its focus on employee well-being, equality, and sustainability. The company has ethical guidelines that all employees are expected to follow, which help create an open and responsible work culture. Bring also support good working conditions through collective agreements, insurance, development opportunities, and a flexible work environment. To ensure transparency, they use whistleblower system where employees and suppliers can report unethical behavior. In addition, Bring invest in employee health through ergonomic solutions and promote diversity by creating an inclusive workplace.
Bring's sustainability effort. Bring focuses strongly on sustainability and is working to reduce its environmental impact. The company aims to make all package delivered with vehicles under 4.25 tons fully electric by 2027. To achieve this, Bring improves route planning, uses electric vehicles, and cooperates with companies to create a more sustainable transport chain. One of Bring's most innovative solutions is a truck wash in Jönköping, Sweden, that reuse rainwater instead of clean water. This saves around 10 times the amount of water and makes the transport sector more sustainable.
Yep, we've made a SWOT analysis, and this shows Bring's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I will not name them all, but if we start with strengths, they have a very strong green profile. They kind of found a place in the market where they can be the green logistics company. And they both communicate this and also perform actions on this, like being Nordic Swan certified and having a very large share of fossil-free deliveries. And this ties into the weaknesses, which could be they could risk greenwashing criticism if they don't follow up with all the promises they make. And they still, as of 2025, have a fossil fuel usage of 78%. So they still have a very long way to go for the goal in 2040, which is 0%. So all electrified. Yeah, and the possibilities is that the customers are very aware of sustainable solutions, the growing e-commerce sector. Yeah, a lot of possibilities. And the threats are, of course, the big competitive market with PostNord, DHL, etc. Yeah, and also the demands from society and customers. Yes.
The PESTEL analysis stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. To begin with, political factors such as tariffs and trade policies affects international deliveries, which the company must adapt to. Economic factors such as unemployment, or rather economic downturns, contribute to change customer behavior where customers shop less. In addition, rising electricity prices affect Bring since their concept focuses on carrying out transports with electric vehicles, which can become a greater cost for the company when electricity prices increase. Business ethics can be connected to social factors as the company is expected to take social responsibility by ensuring good working conditions at every level, such as fairness and safety, while also maintaining zero tolerance for corruption. Technology affects the company where AI can speed up Bring's logistics and transportations. Social media is an excellent tool for Bring to market itself and easily reach its customers.
Hello, yeah. How bad was it? Like, I feel really bad about the
Environmental
last group. What
factors
happened
may
was
include
like I clicked on the mute on my mic. So I thought to myself, like maybe my voice like keeps on going because you're like cursing yourself, like doing stuff up here. So I wanted to click on mute. When I did that, I stopped hearing the sound. Oh my God, what did I do? And then I realized nobody could hear it. So this was something new that came to me.
I
Like
think
you have to keep your.
think you are muted, but you are not.
It's on like Zoom.
Oh, what?
The mic is on right. But,
Vad händer nu?
so I have to keep my mic on. Yeah, they can hear me when I speak. That's crazy. We have to
Ja,
find-
men fortsätt ni.
Can I mute myself?
Environmental factors may include minimizing emissions and caring for the environment, which
Yeah, I
brings
have to
strongly
talk to another room. I
prioritizes
just
living up
realized,
to.
like, it's open. Yeah.
Ja, jag bara,
So
ska
I
jag-
will just hang out now. This is letting me know. So how bad was it? Like, I did excuse it, so it was okay, I guess. I'm asking you, come tell me, how did you feel like?
Zia, what are you talking about?
Oh.
Yeah, but we're having a presentation here, and I think you're not muted, but talking about
Hello?
something. Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
No big deal. We continue with our presentation.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure, färdigt. So they're finishing the presentation now, and yeah, we go on.
I'm here. Thank you.
Environmental factors may include minimizing emissions and caring for the environment, which brings strongly prioritizes living up to. From a legal perspective, the company needs to follow laws that include health, salary, and so on. If they fail to do so, it may lead to consequences for the company that negatively affect the brand.
Yes, our recommendation, the final conclusion, based on our analysis, we will recommend a potential collaboration with Bring. The company demonstrates a strong commitment to sustainability through fossil-free deliveries, electric vehicles, and innovative environmental solutions. Bring also shows social responsibility by providing good working conditions, collective agreements, and clear ethical guidelines for employees. However, the company still faces some challenges such as high investment costs, dependence on fossil energy, tough competition on the market, and limited charging infrastructure. Despite these challenges, we believe that Bring long-term sustainability goals and innovative approach outweigh the disadvantages. So in conclusion, the SWOT and postal analysis show that Bring is a strong actor within sustainable logistics and business ethics with good potential to remain competitive in more sustainability-focused transport markets. Therefore, we would recommend a potential collaboration with Bring. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I will stop sharing, and we see the presenters here live. And now it's time for the certificates. You can't wait, I guess. Sofie Fugelsang Sonne. Väsko. Elaine Kajitesi. There you are. Emilia Nova Eisenhower. Alma Imsirovic. Här är fint papper. Elvira Nordén. Varsågod. Thank you very much for a perfect presentation.
Great work on the presentation. It was engaging, well prepared, and easy to follow. Presenters: Alma, Elvira, Emilia, Sophie, and Elaine. Now we are pleased to introduce a new segment titled World on Focus. As part of this international research exchange, we are proud to continue building a strong academic bridge between Malmö University and smart city developers, supported by the shared vision of Professor Carl Magnus Carlson and Syed Zia Hussein, to expand learning opportunities for everyone. In this segment, we will present a short introductory film highlighting urban development projects from countries outside the United States and Sweden. We hope this will provide valuable insights and inspire learning for all participants. Thank you. And we hope you enjoy this segment.
When we think of the world's smartest cities, Singapore has always been at the top of the list. According to the Smart City Index in 2021, Singapore has the highest ranking out of 118 cities and remained at number 1 for 3 consecutive years. Other cities in the top 5 are Zurich, Oslo, Taipei, and Lausanne, while Bangkok is ranked 76. Becoming a smart nation requires a national strategy for creating digital infrastructure and a digital mindset among citizens. Singapore's Smart Nation strategy was officially launched in 2014 to embrace the fourth industrial revolution, in which industries around the world rely on smart technology, automation, artificial intelligence, robotics, and the Internet of Things. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong.
Zia, I'm not sure if you are showing a film because there is no film, just the World on Focus presentation. And the sound disappeared, so I think you have to click something. Jag hoppas det. Yeah, we are waiting for the next part of the seminar. And if you have problems with the World on Focus movie, we could just go on with our presentations. There are 2 left. You decide.
Presentation 9. Our second last presentation of the day is DHL's Sustainability, Initiatives from a CSR Perspective, presented by Lucas Butt, Casper Johansson, Isaac Nord, Alexander Stenberg, Nemo Tilburg, and Albin Onberg.
Yeah, so here is one of the DHL groups, and these guys are talking about the corporate social responsibility at the DHL company, and I think you have it in the States too. It's a large forwarding company, and I will start sharing their presentation. Here it comes.
Okay, hello everyone. Today we're going to present our CSR and SWOT analysis of DHL's sustainability work. We will look at DHL work with sustainability, what goals they have, and whether their actions reflect real environmental and social responsibility. We will also discuss if their sustainability communication matches their actual impact using CSR theory and SWOT analysis. First, it's important to understand why sustainability has become such a major issue in the transport and logistics sector. Transport and logistics are essential for global trade, but the industry is also a major source of greenhouse gas emission, especially from air and road freight. Because of this, companies like DHL are under increasing pressure from governments, customers, and society to become more sustainable and social responsible. In this report, we look at whether DHL sustainability work creates real impact or if it's mainly part of the company's branding and communication strategy. We will also look at DHL's long-term goal called Mission 2050, which aims to achieve net zero emissions by the year of 2050.
The purpose and theoretical lens is to examine DHL's sustainability work, analyze how it is communicated externally, and evaluate via SWOT and CSR theory whether DHL meets the standards for a potential partnership. CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. Firms bear responsibility beyond profit for the social and ecological impact of their operations on stakeholders and society. CSR also demands transparent, credible communication where rhetoric outruns action, and the risk is greenwashing.
DHL communicates sustainability mainly through products and reports. One important initiative is Go Green Plus, and the goal is to reduce carbon emissions from transportations. Go Green Plus allows customers to reduce emissions from deliveries. DHL invest in sustainable aviation fuel, also called SAF. SAF is made from renewable waste materials like used cooking oils and biomass. Compared to normal jet fuel, SAF can reduce greenhouse gas emissions up to 70 to 80%. Customers can easily add this service when booking shipments. DHL uses a method called book and claim. This means the customer's exact shipment is not necessarily transported with SAF. Instead, the customer helps finance SAF somewhere in DHL's global network. The environmental benefit is shared across the system. This system can create a risk of greenwashing. Customers may think their own shipment is climate neutral, even if it's not directly using SAF. So the marketing can sometimes simplify the real environmental impact.
So now we have the SWOT analysis for DHL. Starting with their strengths, DHL has established a very clear net zero strategy for 2050, and they are backing this up with major capital investments in electric vehicles, alternative fuels, and overall energy efficiency. However, looking at weaknesses, the reality is that their core business, specifically air and road freight, is still heavily reliant on fossil fuels. Furthermore, due to their highly complex global supply chains, enforcing consistent green standards everywhere is incredibly difficult. There is also an internal risk of image-led communication, meaning their marketing could easily outpace their actual operational progress. Moving on to the opportunities. The market trend is completely in their favor. Customer demand for green logistics is skyrocketing, and DHL has a golden opportunity to lead smart city solutions, electrified transport, and mobility as a service. On top of that, upcoming EU climate policies are designed to reward early movers, putting DHL in a prime position. Finally, we have the threats. The financial transitions costs are massive, and right now, actual infrastructure is lagging behind government policies. They're also facing pressure from faster specialized green competitors. And lastly, because DHL values transparency, any gap between their goals and actual results will be heavily magnified and criticized.
Then we have who DHL wants to convince. Firstly, we got the customers. who expect greener transport and measurable emission reductions in their supply chains. Then we have the investors who weigh ESG, performance, and long-term resilience increasingly heavily in capital decisions. After that, we got society and regulators who demand lower emissions and higher accountability and alignment with the climate policy. Lastly, we got the employees who are shaped by and shape the firm values, working conditions, and culture. DHL has been built an ambitious sustainability program integrated into its core business strategy. By 2050, electrification and alternative fuels consistent with central CSR principles. Yet a gap remains between communicated profile and operational reality. Continued reliance on fossil fuels, especially in aviation, and indirect mechanisms such as book and claim mean actual climate impact is more complex than marketing implies.
To conclude, we believe that DHL can be considered a relevant and a credible sustainability partner. The company has ambitious climate targets, strong resources, and externally validated goals through the SBTi approval process. This strengthens the legitimacy of the DHL sustainability work and shows that the company is actively trying to improve its environmental impact. At the same time, our analysis shows that there are still important challenges connected to fossil fuel dependency and the complexity of global logistic operations. Therefore, any partnership with DHL should include clear requirements regarding transparency, communication, and communication. It's important that sustainability claims are supported by concrete and measurable emission reductions rather than only strong marketing and sustainability reporting. Overall, DHL appears to be moving in the right direction, even though the company has not yet fully solved the sustainability challenges within the transport and logistics sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So thank you very much. And now you are eagerly waiting for the certificates. And Kasper Johansson, Lucas Butt, Nemo Tillberg, Albin Anberg, Alexander Stenberg, and Isaac Nord. So, yet another interesting presentation. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank
DHL Sustainability Initiatives from a CSR Perspective. Group 9. Thank you for your presentation. Your enthusiasm and teamwork were clearly visible. Presenters: Lucas Butt, Kasper Johansson, Isaac Nord, Alexander Stenberg, Nemo Tillberg, and Albin Onberg.
We just wanted to let you know, should we try another time with the YouTube?
No, I think my suggestion is to skip that one and we go directly for the last presentation. And for
Ladies and gentlemen, our last presentation of the seminar is Group 10, presenting SWOT/PASTEL analysis of DHL's work with green transport and smart cities. The presenters are Raveshda Glogovsai, Ajla Hachdarevic, Fatima Khalid, Anessa Nezamovic and Lorena Sadiku.
So please welcome the presenters, the last in a row of 10 presentations, reflecting actually what we are doing at Malmö University when it comes to sustainability. And once again, we will listen to the DHL company, which I would say is one of the largest forwarding companies in the world. And here it comes. There it is. Please.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. Today, we will present our project about DHL and sustainable city logistics. My name's Lorena, Anessa, Ruveida, and Fatima. Ayla is sadly not present today, but we will manage. So the reason why we chose DHL is because the company is one of the largest logistics companies in the whole world and has a major impact on transport and sustainability. So we will explain DHL's sustainability work and analyze by using SWOT and pastel analysis. We will also discuss smart cities, green transport, and challenges DHL still faces regarding emissions and sustainability. Let's start off with a little bit about DHL. So, as I said, DHL is one of the largest logistics companies, and they operate in more than 220 countries and territories. The company works with parcel deliveries, freight transport, warehousing. There. I'm sorry. The company works with parcel deliveries, freight transport, warehousing, and supply chain management. Because DHL operates globally, it creates a large environmental impact through transport and logistics. But at the same time, DHL presents itself as a leader in green logistics and sustainable transport solutions. The company also invests heavily in innovation, technology, and sustainability in order to reduce emissions and improve logistics systems.
One of DHL's biggest sustainability goals is to reach a net zero emission by the year 2050. To achieve this goal, DHL works with many different environmentally friendly solutions. For example, the company uses electric delivery vehicles in many cities to reduce air pollution and noise. DHL also invests in a cleaner fuel for airplanes and a warehouse that use less energy. Another important part of DHL's plan is to using technology to improve delivery routes and save time. By using smart logistics system and the AI technology, the company can avoid unnecessary transport. Smart cities are cities that use technology and sustainable systems to improve daily life and reduce environmental problems. In smart cities, transport and delivery services are very important because people depend on deliveries every day. DHL works with several solutions that are connected to city logistics and smart transportation systems. For example, the company uses electrical vans, cargo bikes, and the smart delivery technology in urban areas.
Our SWOT analyzing shows that DHL have several important strengths. First, DHL have a very strong global brand and significant financial resources. This allows the company to invest in sustainable technology and green transport system. Another major strength is that DHL's strong focus on innovation and digital logistic solutions, which helps improve the efficiency of sustainability. However, DHL also faces some weaknesses. The company still depends heavily on air freight and global transportation networks that produce high carbon emissions. In addition, the transition to sustainability transport system is both expensive and difficult to implement quickly on the global scale. There are also many opportunities for DHL. The demand for green logistics is growing as more business and customers prefer sustainability delivery options. At the same time, DHL faces several threats, including strict environment and regulation, increases competitions, and circumventing related of greenwashes. The BISTOL analysis help us to understand the external factor that influence the DHL business and sustainability strategy. First, political factors play an important role. Governments are introducing strict climate policies and environment regulation, which push logistic companies to reduce carbon emissions. Second, economic factors are significant because sustainability technologies such as electric vehicle and green infrastructure require large financial investments. Social factors also include DHL today customers are socially increases, expect companies to operate responsibility and focus on sustainability. In addition, technology development increases new opportunities. Artificial intelligence, digital system, automation, and electric vehicle helps DHL to improve efficiency and create more environment-friendly logistic solutions. Environment factor, especially climate change and pressures to reduce pollutions, encourage DHL to adopt green practice and sustainable transport methods. Finally, legal factors such as ESG reports requirement and international sustainability regulation affect how DHL operate across global markets.
Different stakeholders may see DHL's sustainability work in different ways. Customers and investors may see DHL as a modern and sustainable company because of their investments in green transport and new technology. However, environmental organizations may criticize DHL because global logistics still creates emissions. This creates a potential greenwashing risk. That is why it's important for DHL to show real environmental improvements and clear measurable results in their sustainability work. In conclusion, DHL appears to be one of the better companies in sustainability in the logistics industry, and we think a partnership would be great. The company invests in electric vehicles, sustainable fuels, and smart delivery systems to reduce emissions and improve transport in cities. However, DHL still has challenges because global transport and air freight create a lot of emissions. Overall, we think DHL is a good company for sustainable cooperation, but it's important for them to continue to improve.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. And now the final certificates will finally be handed out. And thank you for a wonderful presentation. And I have Ruveida here. How do you pronounce your Dlogov? Yeah, you take that later. Anessa. Ayla Haydarevit. She's sick, but you can take that. Fatima Khalid. And Lorena Sadiko. Thank you so very much. And as we are approaching the end, I would like to thank all presenters. And there is actually made a certificate for me too. So if someone could give that to me, but I think Sia wants to show his presentation first.
There's actually an announcement in the end for thanking you only.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good. I was afraid I wouldn't be.
No. How could we leave you out? You're the major part of the whole event.
Thanks.
No, exactly. There's a slide to it, so we'll come
Okay.
to that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great work on the presentation. It was engaging, well prepared, and easy to follow. Group 10. Presentation title: SWOT/Pastel Analysis of DHL's Work with Green Transport and Smart Cities. Presenters including Ruvechta Glogovsai, Ajla Hajdarevic, Fatima Khalid, Anessa Nezimovic and Lorena Sadiku.
I think so. Nick has something to announce. Nick, would you come in?
Thank you, everybody, for your amazing presentations. I just would like to notify you that we will have each presentation uploaded separately, so you guys can share with your family and friends on our YouTube channel. And I think we're able to share the video now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all of this has been recorded, as you know, and it will be on all made. Oh no, here it comes.
Think of the world's smartest cities, Singapore has always been at the top of the list. According to the Smart City Index in 2021, Singapore has the highest ranking out of 118 cities and remained at number 1 for 3 consecutive years. Other cities in the top 5 are Zurich, Oslo, Taipei, and Lausanne, while Bangkok is ranked 76. Becoming a smart nation requires a national strategy for creating digital infrastructure and a digital mindset among citizens. Singapore's Smart Nation strategy was officially launched in 2014 to embrace the fourth industrial revolution, in which industries around the world rely on smart technology, automation, artificial intelligence, robotics, and the Internet of Things. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong announced Singapore's goal of becoming an outstanding city in a fast-changing world by integrating smart technology into people's daily lives to build a more productive economy and improve the quality of life and society as a whole.
Therefore, our vision for Singapore is to be a smart nation, a nation where people live meaningful and fulfilled lives, enabled seamlessly by technology, offering exciting opportunities for all. We should see it in our daily living, where networks of sensors and smart devices enable us to live sustainably and comfortably. We should see it in our communities, where technology will enable more people to connect to one another more easily and intensively. We should see it in our future, where we can create possibilities for ourselves beyond what we even imagined possible.
Singapore's transformation into a smart nation is based on 3 main pillars, namely digital society, digital economy, and digital government. It aims to create a digital transformation in all areas, including in health, transport, urban solutions, finance, and education. Singapore has been successful in making technology accessible and inclusive so its citizens can live safely and more conveniently. The most notable achievements are the widespread use of contactless payments, the tracking of public transport, the development of autonomous vehicles, and telemedicine. With its successful implementation, Singapore initiated the ASEAN Smart Cities Network in 2018, which aims to encourage greater cooperation among ASEAN member countries to foster smart and sustainable urban development. Alongside its Smart Nation strategy,
the Singapore government has also addressed issues related to sustainable living as it transformed the nation into a garden city. The most obvious examples being Gardens by the Bay and Changi airports. Based on the survey's findings, environmental concerns remain at the top among wealthier cities. Having better air quality and health services has become a greater priority since the COVID-19 outbreak. According to the IMD's Smart City Observatory, Singapore's high achievement this year is largely due to the policies which have been enforced, including those in e-government services, education, and human-centric urban strategy. Singapore was also better prepared in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic with its higher degree of social cohesion and the use of digital facilities, which allowed close monitoring of the spread of the virus. Singapore took more than a decade to establish itself fully as a smart nation, and its success has inspired many other countries to establish their own smart cities, including Bangkok. However, Bangkok's smart city ranking at 76 is a substantial drop from the previous year, where the city was ranked at 71. According to the same survey, the biggest areas of concern for Bangkok are air pollution, corruption, security, road congestion, and health services. Unlike Singapore, where such issues are of lower concern, they are more concerned with affordable housing and having fulfilling employment. With the current global ranking of Thailand's capital, there seems to be a long road ahead to transforming Bangkok into a smart city.
Det kommer säkert mer.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick.
It was a nice film. We've been talking a bit about the smart city development and actually the role of digitalization and artificial intelligence and things like that. So it was nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think so. It was like a little like a jerk. The video was jerking off, but I mean, will improve with the time. We'll improve that. But yeah, it was definitely something that I wanted to share with everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure.
We would like to extend our sincere appreciation to Carl
that's
Magnus
me.
Carlsen for his outstanding supervision, continuous support, and dedication to guiding students in developing excellent research work. His efforts ensured that international attendees and participants received valuable insights into Swedish city development and mobility initiatives. The professionalism, research quality, attendance, and presentation delivery demonstrated by the students today truly reflected the strong coordination and academic guidance provided by Professor Carl Magnus. Thank you, Professor Carl Magnus, for your continued commitment and support. Awards and appreciation recognitions for our guest speakers and Professor Carl Magnus Carlsen will be delivered to them very soon.
Awesome.
Thank you. A lot of professors there.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So I think so. If you would like for the certificate, definitely certificate was sent over to you, but
Yes,
the award will definitely be delivered very soon.
I will try to get one of the students to hand it over to me. So who's volunteering? Here we have one.
Awesome.
Okay, test.
Look in the camera. Look in the camera.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
let me guess. Carl Magnus is you?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here you go, sir.
Oh, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, and I must
I
say,
thought you know your professor, dude.
pardon?
We all know Carl Magnus. We all know him as a professor.
Yeah. Okay, so if you stop sharing that, or if you have more
Yeah.
to show,
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes SCD-Seminar IV. On behalf of Smart City Developers and Malmö University, thank you to all presenters, guest speakers, faculty members, organizers, and attendees for being part of today's international seminar. Your ideas, research, and collaboration continue to inspire meaningful conversations about sustainability, mobility, and the future of city development. We look forward to continuing this tradition in the years ahead. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Yeah. So, well, here I am with my certificate, and I'm so proud to be able to put it in a golden frame. I will print it out in thousands of copies and use it as a wallpaper. So I'm really reminded about this wonderful evening. And I also want to say thank you to Smart City Developers in Costa Mesa and to all the presenters from Costa Mesa for very good contributions to this great event. And especially thank you to Sia Hossein, who has hosted this and also been the founder of the Smart City Developers and actually this corporation that we have had for 4 years now. So once again, if you don't have anything else,
Yeah, we are done.
Do you have more slides or more things?
No, it's all done. I just wanted to say, I just wanted to say final words. Appreciate your coordination and your support, and definitely we will do all more events like this. And I always appreciate you and tell about to everybody about our coordination with Sweden, with you being very actively proactive with coordinating with America and making a bridge between this and building, filling up the gap between our urban planning designs and your this exchange program kind of supports us a lot. And it will definitely, as it improves, and a lot of students will learn a lot from Sweden.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, and I think it's time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you. Ja. Tack för idag. Tack så mycket. Tack. Jag skickar.